Gentlemen, it is great to see you today.
Great to see you, Paul. Great to see you, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you. I feel, you look like the Blues Brothers there in Chicago.
That's three.
That's right.
3 times. We nailed it.
We're the Blues Brothers in Syracuse today. Well, Kyle's from Nashville. Alex, very good job on the Christmas spirit with the lights around your neck. We'll give you a gold star for that. So today, I want to make sure we get some good conversation in. We're going to talk about responding to new opportunities by leaning into technology and leaning into change. Alex, you're somebody who has helped the industry really think forward and act forward. Rhett, you're someone who is just spearheading a large group that has always been really, I won't say addicted to change, but really welcoming to and adoptive of change. So we have two good perspectives. We have a dealer perspective, and we also have an industry partner perspective. Let me start with you, Alex. You have announced a couple changes in your organization. Joe Chura is now Chief Innovation Officer. So you're really leaning into developing out what the next thing for the industry you think should be. So tell us a little bit about why that's important to us in this time.
Well, look, Paul, thank you. And kudos to Joe, right? He's been one of the best innovators in the auto industry using technology as an enabler. And we see an opportunity to converge our marketplace strength of cars.com and drive users directly into the dealer system. And so Joe's going to be helping integrate the technologies that are going to help move us from being just a marketplace, but rather a distribution and demand gen partner for dealerships. Like, we see very vividly that if we can get people off our marketplace into the dealer's website, dealers are closing those sales at 2 to 3 times the rate than if they get information directly from the marketplace. And so Joe and I are committed to basically figuring out what are the technologies that can help make that journey efficient so the users go from research to purchase in as quickly as possible time with the fewest resources needed by the dealership.
Yeah, that's going to be a seismic transition. And the fact that you understand that and you're willing to stand for that is one of the reasons that dealers really believe that you're for them. Rhett, coming from the dealer side, your business, your dealership group is on the prowl. You've been scooping up, you've been growing, and I've been seeing a lot of change being pioneered and championed through that. So why don't you give us a little insight into how you're approaching technology and leveraging technology to really scale your business?
Well, thank you. And thanks for reaching out to all the dealers with this. Dealers need to hear it from a lot of their peers exactly during these disruptive times on how to think things through, and you always need some sort of mentorship. So I appreciate your show for that. You take a look at all the rapid acceleration of the consolidation of the retailers right now, and also look at the rapid consolidation of the financing sources, the banks, et cetera, et cetera. It's all about the technology, right? The more they can consolidate, the more they can utilize their data, the more they can take this data and they can maximize the customer experiences and their profitability in each. So unless you're on this train going forward and you don't have a 20-year plan in your mind on how you're going to run this business, I strongly suggest you find another business to get involved with, because this is going to pick up speed exponentially in the very near future as more and more change and disruption happens in the retail industry. The automobile dealer is here to stay. It works. The distribution system is the most efficient system in the world. Everyone knows that. It's proven it. There'll be other direct sale modes, et cetera, but it's all going to be part of how the automobile dealer consolidation adapts to it. When you take a look at people like Sonic and some of the other big publics having their own platforms they're doing it with. So yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's exciting, and I think dealers should embrace it and find out it's exciting too, and enter this whole new world of data. It's the whole new world of data. It's not the new. I remember I saw a picture on the internet of some salesmen sitting on hoods of cars with cowboy hats waiting on customers to come through the door. And I think that's a little dated. Nowadays people are shopping from their home. They're using the internet. They're using other digital sources. And exactly, Alex is exactly right. We're on a huge data management thing. And now with these connected cars, it's even going to accelerate it faster and further.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, that picture that you just referenced. It reminds me of a story I heard where a dealer wouldn't even let a salesman come in the air-conditioned building in like 98-degree weather unless they walked in with a customer. So the guys sitting on the hoods were like, hey, do you need to use a bathroom? Walk in the store with me and pretend I'm selling you a car. That's a little old school right there. Let's talk about Q1 of 2022. Alex, what do you think are the indicators that you're paying attention to most to help dealers thrive in Q1?
Yeah, well, look, I look at daily consumer data that shows me the level of organic demand that is in the market today. And I can tell you, every signal that I'm seeing is we're heading into a good year next year. There's still robust consumer demand happening on cars.com this week, today. And remember, our audience is usually using our platform prior to purchase. So I'm able to see a little bit of a crystal ball headed into next year, and we're going to have a great start to the year at minimum. I think, the other thing we're obviously paying a lot of attention to is the demand or supply challenges. We are seeing some new car inventory volumes come back. We're seeing the first time ever retail prices start to dip ever so softly, but that's, I think, partially because supply is coming back into the market. And so we study both of these things. And I think that we're set up for a good environment. I think that we've been enjoying a crazy year this year, right? With just record profitability across the industry, which is exciting. With supply coming back, I think dealers are going to have to be even more on top of their digital game, because there'll be more competition for those sales that exist out there.
Rhett, you represent quite a few franchises. What's your temperature from the dealer side on the inventory coming back? Like, what are you seeing and hearing that has you feeling, optimistic or pessimistic or pensive?
I think Alex said it best. When I look back in 2020, I was quoted as saying many times dealers are adopting the digital platforms at record paces, and that 80 to 90% of the dealers could do a retail delivery by the end of the year, and I missed it. It was about August when they figured it all out. Dealers are quick to learn, they're quick to adapt, they're quick to adjust. We've got great vendors in the automobile industry. We got like Alex and others to be able to have the tools that we need, each dealer to be able to adapt to what their market and their customers really want to buy. I think what the most unique phenomenon, I agree with everything Alex said about next quarter, but these are some phenomena I see that I've never seen before. I've never seen vehicles that I have to be careful on who I sell it to, because if I sell it to somebody outside my market whom I'll never see again, I could very easily sell it to someone that lives in my market that I might have a follow-up opportunity to sell more products. Ferrari and Porsche dealers have had this for years and years with limited availability and a high demand environment. And now the other manufacturers, such as we have, the domestics and some of the imports, we have to be a little bit more specific. I think that's a phenomenon I've never seen before. We're having to learn to have more discipline. Other than that, I think the first quarter is going to be good, like Alex said. I think that the semiconductor chip is still out there, and I think the disruptor's out there. But I think there's one thing we haven't had a hard look at, and that's that mandate to have everyone vaccinated. I don't know of many automobile dealers that I know that are running at a 100% vaccination rate. And many of their employees, which are very difficult to find nowadays, any employee of any value and any work ethic, to be able to say, well, unless you're vaccinated, you can't come to work. You can't work in my environment. In the car business, about everything is done at the dealership.
Right.
We can't have a lot of people at home doing a lot of the work. Software companies, Alex knows, you can. But not in our case. We have to have them in the store to fix those cars and all. So it's going to create a huge issue February 9th when OSHA decides to enforce some of these rules, if it is not looked at differently by the Supreme Court here in the near future. Car dealerships are an essential business, and you're just going to cut the nose off an essential business, as well as, let's think of trash companies, electric companies do repair. It's going to be a huge issue. So that's going to be a disruptor in the first quarter as I see it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I had another question, but now looking back, especially at the height of the pandemic, Rhett, you being at that moment, the NADA chairman, and NADA going to bat for the dealers, and Alex, you doing similarly, and coming out. I'll ask Alex, what does it look like to in a time where there is high demand and low capacity for hiring. What does it look like to push back against that? And then how can, Alex, and I'll kind of preface this conversation with, we had a conversation at Brian Pash's AAAS that was, all markets look to automotive. We're the leading indicator for so many other industries. How can we be leaders and not just, and be pace setters for that portion of our culture right now?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I agree with everything Rhett said as well. Like our dealership, what we've learned about this business over 20 years is that while technology is an enabler, there is still so much of that last mile that requires the dealership operators to really be the link to the customer equation. And that's why, we advocated on behalf of dealerships. We think they are essential, not just to the local communities, but to drive the fuller market. And so I'll just echo that point. I think obviously we're entering into a new era where consumer expectations are being changed outside of automotive. If you just look at the way the future drivers are working with technology today, they're expecting 80 to 90% of what they want to be readily available online. And I'm pleased that dealerships have responded. I mean, if you look at what they're doing today, our website customers through Dealer Inspire, the amount of changes that we're processing for dealers, they're looking to make daily updates to make sure that everything is as relevant as possible. And certainly we see that on our marketplace as well. So I'm proud that this industry is aggressively shifting towards digital channels. I think it is going to be the new expectation that people are going to meet. And you're looking at things like home delivery being done at a hyper-local level. There aren't just a few players shipping cars across the country, but we're now seeing local dealers deliver cars locally to people's homes within an hour. And that, to me, just shows what Rhett was talking about, like the entrepreneurialism of these local dealerships to do whatever they can to service and support their customers is unrivaled. And they're using tech to get it started, but then they're so well equipped to be the last mile.
So we're running out of time here because we're trying to keep up, but I would really love for you to give kind of from your heart, like, now I know, Rhett, you can actually say it like straight up. You don't have the PR side that you have to worry about anymore. I want to hear Rhett Ricart right now. I want to hear Rhett Ricart. What is your encouragement to the dealers in 2022? What do you just want to say to them? If you had them all in a room and they were paying attention and no one else was listening, because it's just us here right now. You don't have to worry about anybody else seeing this ever. What are you going to say to dealers?
I don't know if I can buy that or not, but I like your thought. I can tell you something that's very, very important, and that's the automobile manufacturers have relearned how important the automobile dealer distribution system is in the United States. Because during the darkest hours of COVID, during the darkest hours of this country and all over the world, automobile dealers that were essential were open to get people back and forth from work, police cruisers, emergency vehicles. We kept people rolling, doctors, all the businesses were responsible to have our inner core operations of the world, just not the United States, as essential. We were able to deliver that service. And I don't think manufacturers, in fact, I know manufacturers would not have been able to pull that off if they had some sort of a direct sale model and they were doing it out of hubs all over the place. It never would have happened. And the dealers were the ones that made it happen.
Oh, amen to
Those
that.
are my thoughts.
Thank you very much. Alex, Marita's blowing up my phone right now. No, she's not. But I do want to thank Marita and Afaf for making you available today. But from your heart, what are you saying to dealers in 2022? What do you want to encourage them with?
Well, look, I'd echo what Rhett just said, but I would say we were having a conversation before this about the importance of listening to your customers. I mean, they're the ones that are going to guide your business strategy more than ever. Keep listening to your customers. And what I'm really pleased about over the last year, dealerships I used to would think technology was a threat, and like how to resist technology. And what I'm seeing now happen is dealerships are realizing it's the great enabler. They can use technology to enable their business and use it more as a weapon as opposed to viewing it as a threat. And that's what our collection of companies is designed to do, which is to give power back to the local community. Most technology companies try to disrupt the middleman or hurt the little guy. I'm really proud our companies have all put the local dealer at the center of our ecosystem, and we're here to enable them with the tools they need to compete. And we're not finding dealerships pushing back on us anymore. Like, they want to know, what else do we have? What else can we do to help them automate, use technology to their advantage? And so again, it's back to what Rhett said. They're entrepreneurs. They're going to take whatever they can to create a competitive advantage. And I'm just proud that this industry is rapidly embracing digital like never before.
Well, the two of you have really pushed down the belief that when dealers band together, no crisis can win. Alex Vetter, Rhett Ricart, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. All of our best to your families and your loved ones through the holiday season. And we're looking forward to making a lot more trouble together in 2022. And the lights are on. Alex is about to head out. Thank you so much, gentlemen.